Season 5 of the WGBH-produced hit Downton Abbey premiered last night on Masterpiece, and the new year is bringing new rules, new technology, and new drama to the estate. So what does it take to create this world of aristocracy, secrecy, and intrigue? WGBH News arts editor Jared Bowen recently got some insight from some of the foremost authorities.
Well, what do you think, Carson? Mrs. Hughes, the king on the wireless.
I prefer to think of him on his throne, my lord.
Downton is now dashing into the modern world. Season 5 of Downton Abbey on PBS's Masterpiece opens in 1924. The 20s continue to roar, the staff ponders their place, and it seems to be the season of sex. The family's single ladies have yearnings. Romance brews downstairs, and Lady Edith deals with the consequence of her scandalous dalliance.
Yeah, it's a bit wild compared to Series 1.
Actress Laura Carmichael plays the beleaguered, often belittled, middle sister Lady Edith Crawley. Downton's dour daughter, Lady Edith has become the character fans often love to hate, and Carmichael loves that.
It's the Team Mary kind of Team Edith thing we were always joking about. But yeah, I think it's great. And then none of these characters are entirely likable. And that's as it should be, I think.
I'm a man who has drawn a winning ticket. I have been awarded a bumper prize.
Much of Downton Abbey's appeal has been in its ornamentation, the period-perfect place settings, costumes, and manners, the layers of protocol and etiquette that were the structure of aristocratic architecture.
You must be expert in etiquette at this point.
I don't know. I mean, it's all kind of hilarious pretend. It helps to kind of put yourself in a different posture, in a different way of holding yourself.
On set, there's one man, Downton's historical advisor Alastair Bruce, who's responsible for maintaining the show's accuracy in all points, period. The perfect posture, carefully measured place settings, they weren't merely efforts at keeping up appearances, Bruce says. The aristocracy was to the manners born out of a sense of morality.
Having standards and maintaining them was about the clarity of life being lived by each person in the house. And it didn't matter whether you lived above or below stairs.
Other elements of Downton decorum, like the lack of physical contact, was more practical.
In the period of Downton Abbey, it was only about 100 years since people were dying of the plague. They didn't touch each other, they didn't have physical contact. Not because they totally lacked any heart or feeling, they had just as much as anybody today. They just were being cautious because there was no antibiotics available.
And it makes all those Downton scenes with contact even more intense.
And Alastair Bruce is somebody you definitely want to have on your Downton team, Adam, especially because he's a real herald to the Queen. He knows the royal family very well. He's also been a historical advisor on The King's Speech and other films. And he is just passionate about history, so he knows these customs and manners and protocols from beginning to end.
Those protocols sound extremely intense. How important are they for the show's success, do you think?
Well, they're very important because I don't know why, although I've seen now 5 seasons of Downton Abbey, it never occurred to me how much the actors actually have to do. It's almost as if you're watching, you know, I would think of Pippin a couple of years ago, Diane Paul's show at the American Repertory Theater, where you have actors who also had to take on these circus persona. In this case, not only are you acting, but you have to be very mindful of how you hold yourself, how you hold your spoon, how you carry yourself, the ways you normally might emote on film to convey a certain emotion in your actorly way they cannot do.
So is that sort of a method acting or abbreviated method acting type approach that they're taking?
Well, it's what they have to do, and he's always on set to intervene. I mean, it's very interesting. This all came about because the British aristocracy was so disturbed, profoundly disturbed by what they saw happen in France with the French Revolution, that we will never allow this to happen here. So they adopted these strict protocols about how they would act, but also how they would take care of their extended families, including the servants. So there was always an investment in the community, which we've seen throughout the Downton Abbey series. Yeah. And that was a way to ensure that it didn't, there was no other French Revolution.
And as you say, I'm a little behind on the series, but when there's a breach of protocol, it pops, right? It's electric.
I don't think that, well, I haven't noticed one, but yes, absolutely. But he's there to make sure.
Oh, I'm sorry. Happen. I mean, if say, the upstairs talks with the downstairs and there's this charge.
Right.
Jared Bowen, thank you. Great talking with you.